Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the KetoMom page. It's going to be a little different this morning. Oh, good morning.
They all attacked me, and then
My husband was holding on to some dogs, so I thought I would sit in a little space in our house real quick that we are, look, it's still in process.
Sometimes life can be like in process.
In process. So we are hopping on here a little bit quicker.
Yep. Triggered the dogs.
Quicker than normal.
They see the eagle.
This is the book that we're going through. Oh, it's backwards. Let me flip you around real quick. Happy Friday. Good morning. Where are you tuning in from?
Whoa, just like that.
Just like that. Okay.
It's bright over here, honey.
It is bright. I'm going to sit on the floor. Then they can see you behind me.
All right.
How's that?
I like it. I look like I'm lit up.
Maybe you should move.
This is really crazy.
Okay, here's the deal. I was actually going to show you something cute because our dogs were all sitting on all of our dogs were sitting on Steve. We are leaving here in a couple minutes. We're going to go do something crazy with my dad. My dad is all things. He's a paramedic, police, fire, ambulance, SWAT team person. And so it is prom season around the towns that we're at. So they do something super, I think it's fun. You've never
happened.
No, it's different in every town.
Oh. All right. Well.
So what they do is the fire and the ambulance and the police people go into the high school and they put on like a mock car accident. So they help these kids understand the power of not drinking and driving.
What's going on? Look at, she's all in my face. She's like trying to get me.
And so we are the actors. So we're going, my dad is putting on this mock trial thing for these high schoolers. Anyways. We are leaving very soon. So I wanted to give you a thought for this lovely Friday morning as you're tuning in. I should have just sat where we normally sat, but
we can walk
you were bombarded with dogs. No, it's fine. You can hang out.
They're still attacking me again.
Welcome to our home. So here's a thought for you today. If you are brand new, we go through a book on this page every day to help you with your mindset. We're going through a book called Chazown to help discover and pursue God's purpose for your life. And so we've gone through almost half the book, and we're going through something called your Chazown that you are going to write to figure out the purpose for your life, because you're not just here to lose 50 pounds. Let's just be real. You have a calling. You have a calling on your life that is more important. So here is a thought for you for the day.
Okay.
It's super important, actually. This is actually a really great thought. I'm going to say it. He can come back if he wants. So the author, Pastor Craig, shares a story of him driving his car with his family, getting lost, doing circles, not stopping for directions, and finally his wife and his daughter say, "Hey, why don't you stop and ask for directions?" And he says, it's the same thing in life. He says, "Are you like me? You refuse to ask for directions. It's dangerous enough to refuse help with directions on a trip, but it's dangerous enough to refuse help. But that's exactly the self-sufficient strategy many people use in life. People who can't figure out where they are going or what they want to do are too prideful, they don't ask, and therefore get nowhere." It's good, huh?
It is very good.
Nowhere in life. Don't let that be you. Don't try to figure it out by yourself. There's an aspect of people you want to come and sit, right? You want me to turn?
No.
There's an aspect of people,
Get me again.
there's an aspect of, the dogs are trying to get him. There's an aspect of gathering information and trying to figure it out, and also asking questions and asking people to help you on your journey. Asking somebody that's a friend or a family member to hold you accountable. Asking those who've already done it how they did it. So, do you want to say anything to that?
I mean, it's powerful. Power of the ask.
Yeah.
And I would also say don't be at a place where you're offended to get feedback. I mean, I ask my closest friends quite frequently, like, what's my blind spot? What's the thing that I'm not seeing? But you have to be open to hearing the feedback, because the people who care most about you, they actually do care. And if it's somebody whose life has fruit that you so desire, like, don't be getting, I mean, you can get feedback from anybody. You could go to the local person hanging out at the pub and ask them, "Hey, what should I do with this idea, and they could tell you something, and then you probably could take the advice and just do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Because you probably don't want that type of...
That's what he says in here.
Yeah. Do they? That's amazing.
Well, he says this. He says, if you don't know where you're going in life, put aside your pride, stop and ask. He says, the best advice comes from Proverbs 12:15. The way of fools seem right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Yep. So if you want to be wise, if you want to get to where you truly are meant to go, stop and ask for advice. But this is what he says. It's important to ask for good advice. So the first part says, seek God's voice and direction from his word, the Bible. Number 2 says, search for biblical advice from godly people in your church. Number 3 says, look for those in your community or people that you might know or know of that have proven track record.
That's what I like, is the proven track record aspect.
Who's already done it?
Yeah.
Who's doing it?
Yeah, and I would also say, like, you can create your brain trust out of people that you may not even know.
Right.
So what does that mean? That means you can start reading different books. I really like the advice of John Maxwell. I really like the advice of James Clear. I really like the advice of Craig Groeschel. I really like the advice of Bill Johnson. Like, those are people that you could also learn from.
Right.
You don't have to physically be
in those
touch a distance
right
of people.
Right. It is pretty incredible what we have at our fingertips. So you follow the people that have already done it, and then you move. He says that I'm going to warn you, watch out for counterfeit Chazowns. He says many people, even well-intended friends, have visions for your time, your resources, and what you should do. So there's an aspect of, you know your heart, you know what you're called to do, you know the things that you're gifted at, hopefully, or you're working on it if you've been tuning into the live. Other people might see other things in you that aren't on your heart. Other people would love to tell you what to do and how to do it. So it's important that you don't all of a sudden go, oh, well, my best friend says. And so they give the example from the Bible. If you know the story of Jesus and dying on the cross, and Peter says, no, that's not what you're going to do. He had no idea what the calling on Jesus' life was. So that's still an example of somebody who was so close to him.
Well, he told
and
them
yet,
that selfishly he didn't want him to leave.
Right. But he would have changed that course.
Right.
He would have said, no, you're not going to do that. So he just says, be super cautious about who you're talking to. Be super cautious of who you're acting advice from.
It's true. So whenever you get advice, or whenever someone gives you feedback in life, because you've either asked for it,
right,
or because they've just given it to you, kind of like Peter said, no, it's not your time. The reality is, I would say, take that advice, good, bad, however it makes you feel. Just spend some quiet time with the Father and ask him, like, is this for me? And you'll get that confirmation through the Spirit. Like, you will get that confirmation, and that could possibly be your next step. That could be your next step in action. That could be your next step in what you're pursuing after. Those things are important.
I love that. He says, the world bombards you with counterfeit Chazowns. Business advertisement, the internet, every billboard that you go by, all of them have visions for your money, for your life. But God's vision for your money is to invest and to bring the best into the eternal world. Here's what he says, and this part you actually might resonate with. Fast food restaurants have visions for you too, to supersize you. That's why they have supersize. He says, but God's vision for your health is that you eat well and take care of your body.
Good stewardship.
He says, make it your own passion to seek God's will and purpose for your life 24/7, 365 days of the year. That's how you will fulfill God's purpose for your life. So you've got things pulling at you from so many different angles, and it's important to do what you feel like you're called to do and not what the world is telling you. That's it.
Well, you said the counterfeit Chazowns. I really like that, because think about what you scroll and what you stop on.
Right.
So I would say take an account for what's on your social media platforms. Maybe it's time to unfollow some people. Maybe it's time to stop blocking certain advertisements.
Yep.
Because all of that stuff, you're letting it infiltrate. These dogs are like licking each other in front of us. All of those things are infiltrating your eyes, your mind, your ears, and you're allowing that in. So I would just say, maybe for today, just take a look at what counterfeit Chazowns are sneaking into your life. And then at the same time, who's one person, I'd love to know, like, who's that one person that you could reach out to today and get some feedback get some, maybe a possibly course correction. Maybe run that idea, like as you've been nailing down your vision and your mission statement, run that by somebody who you know, like, and trust. And I think it'd be really good to get some feedback on that.
Yes, Ranger thinks so too. Yeah,
Well, his name's King Julian.
No, his name is Ranger.
Oh, I thought it was.
And this is Rocky, and we have 4 dogs. So we wanted to hop on here. We actually weren't
Remy
going.
wants to be-
Oh,
here-
well,
oh,
no,
she
we're gonna
comes.
get bombarded.
Oh,
We actually were
there
not gonna
she
do the
is.
live, but we had a couple minutes before we leave, so we do have to go. We've got some fun things planned for today.
Why do they always go right to your
Right to your face. This is Lemmy, and there's one more just like her. With, I know, 4 dogs. All right, we appreciate you. Continue to tune into the page. You can go to KetoMomSecrets.com for any information on food, recipes, ketones, all of the past book lives that we've done. It's a great resource. Otherwise, message us. We are here to help, to give you ideas and tips and tricks to help you on your journey. Have a great Friday. That's all I have.
I would just say, for those of you who are just tuning in now because I saw the numbers go up, you're probably wondering what's all this. This is construction.
We are
Sometimes your
in
life is under
construction
construction.
zone.
And if it is under construction, just know that it's a process, it's a journey, and to embrace that process, embrace that journey. And it's always better when you have people who are helping you in that journey. So go make some new friends on this Friday.
Yeah, and our daughter does a podcast. It's called Who Is She Becoming? That's actually our podcast setup right now. And she's got a new podcast that's going to drop today. It's great for teens and or anybody, right? It's called Who Is She Becoming? It is on Apple, Spotify, something else, Harbor. So it's in all the places. So if you just go to Who Is She Becoming, there's already like 6 or 7 podcasts, and there's another one coming. Super great for your teenagers, for sure. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Always here to help. Continue to ask questions, and we will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.